Hi, still on rudiments of music. We are now in Module 9, the choir in the Holy Mass. Here we're going to talk about the responsibilities and functions of the choir and of a chorister in the Mass. Then we'll talk about the order of the Mass, then we'll do the Module 9 assignment. Okay, what are the responsibilities, the primary responsibilities and functions of a choir? Okay, by definition, there a choir is a choir of voices or instruments. They have two roles in the Catholic Mass. One is to lead the congregation, to lead the congregation in songs during the designated moments of the Mass. And those designated moments are listed there: the opening hymn or song, the Gloria, the Psalms or the responsorial psalm, the Alleluia, Holy, Holy, the memorial acclamation, the Amen, Lamb of God. Okay, now we should note that it is everybody's responsibility in the choir to encourage one another in singing and in good spirit. Encourage them by your attentiveness, encourage them by your presence, support your fellow choristers to sing well in the Mass. It is your responsibility, it is my responsibility. That responsibility does not belong to any particular person or group of persons. It does not belong entirely to the choir master or the whosoever that are the leaders of the choir and probably the instrumentalists and so on. It does not belong to any particular group or any particular person. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to individuals, everybody in the choir. Now, one more thing to note: while music in these parts of the Mass are generally contemporary in nature, we must be careful not to remain stuck in the same kind of genre, in the same kind of music, knowing fully well that the Catholic Church has spanned almost 2 millennia of history, and during this course of time must have produced composers from different kinds of music, like you have classicals, you have baroque and all. It is not fair for us to get stuck in just the contemporary kind of music. For example, let's say uh, the eastern, southeastern part of Nigeria, mostly dominated by Igbos. Yes, of course, as we are singing, you have to consider the locality where you are. But then you also have to understand that this is a church that existed over 2 millennia, and there are so many songs that have come out from this particular church. You have to, you know, once in a while, touch other kinds of music as long as they are in the same spirit and suitable for the liturgy. Okay, now all the music meant to be sung should be provided in printed format at each Mass, and there should be frequent repetition to allow for greater familiarity with the music over time. You know, the choir master could come this week, introduce a new song, the choir will learn it during their rehearsals. Remember, the entire congregation is not there during the rehearsals. Okay, now, the choir is familiar with the song. They are so well prepared. They come on Sunday during the Mass or any other time, and render this particular piece wonderfully. And the congregation is like watching them. Okay, when they are through with the song, next Sunday, probably they enjoyed the song, yes. Then, next Sunday, you see that the choir could have gone back to learn an entirely new song. Come next Sunday and render the new song again. I mean, another new song. The one he did last Sunday is gone. Now, there is no continuity. If you render a new song this Sunday, I think it is proper to repeat that same song next Sunday as far as that song is a new song, so that the congregation can start learning the song. So that over time, when the choir is singing, the congregation can sing along. See, there is nothing wrong with the congregation singing along with the choir in the mass. I mean, in the mass, not in a concert. Because the mass is not a concert. The responsibility of the choir in the mass is to lead the congregation in singing, not to sing for the congregation to enjoy. Yes, of course, the congregation should enjoy the music because it's being sung in good spirit. Because you cannot serve to God, you don't expect God to enjoy something that you yourself do not find enjoyable. Okay, fine. That being said, the point is this: when you are singing a new song this Sunday, it is your responsibility to make sure that the congregation learns how to sing this song over time. Don't just sing it and jump over to a new one just to mesmerize them on Sundays. With time, depending on the kind of people that you have there, their mindset and all, they could get bored and just wait for the choir. Okay, they're about to do it again. Let's just wait for them to finish so that we can get out of here. That is not the best. I don't think that's going to help anybody. Okay, now, one more thing. The second rule of the choir, scholar cantorum, or organ or instruments being played in the choir is this. You should understand that you are giving an offering of first fruits of time and talents to God, and that the choir is a ministry to the congregation, and the function of this ministry is to provide appropriate music for prayer, for reflection, and for meditation. It's an offering to God. Okay, now in the liturgy, you can sing before the Mass, during offertory, during communion, after the dismissal, that is closing hymn. Now, these musical offerings should draw from the church's rich musical heritage. And ministers of music are encouraged by the church to develop their talents in the service of the liturgy. Organ music, instrumental music, choral works, all are offered not as mere entertainment or performances because the Mass is not a concert, but it is offered, or rather, they are offered as a form of prayer, which hopefully can move others to pray as well. So, our target, the target of the choir, is to move people to pray as well, because according to St. Augustine, he who sings well prays twice. And it is somehow uh, confusing When you see people that have been choristers for years, but they do not appreciate the power of singing. They don't. Seems that prayer as in singing is underrated. Like that as you are singing, you are just entertaining yourself, you are not praying that after singing, then when you want to pray, then you have to get serious and pray. That singing is not a serious business. Singing is praying double, twice. Can you beat that? Okay, now the Catholic choir is performing a service or a ministry to the entire congregation, not a singing concert or performance for the congregation. A key purpose of the choir is to inspire everyone to sing, to arouse their desire to take part. By doing this, the celebration of the Mass, we have solemnity, joy, unity. Clearly, you see, this is a challenge. It is a very big challenge because, in view of the understanding that the people sometimes the clergy might be expecting people to impress them in the mass, you know, and you see sometimes the congregation will tend to use the singing expertise of the choristers to judge their performance. Now you see the choristers deviating, you see the choir deviating from their main purpose. You see them, they start working hard to improve their expertise, of course, which is required to do well in the mass. But then, to what end? For what purpose? To impress the congregation, not to stimulate them to sing in the mass, not to uplift their spirits, no longer as an offering. You see? So it is the responsibility of the choristers to always keep this in mind. You are there for two purposes. One is to lead the congregation in singing, stimulate them to sing with uplifted spirits. And the second thing is that you are there to sing as an offering to God. Okay, having said that, let's take a look at this. St. Augustine said, "How I wept deeply, moved by your hymns, songs, and the voices that echoed through your church. What emotion I experienced in them. Those sounds flowed into my ears, distilled the truth in my heart. A feeling of devotion surged through me, and tears streamed down my face. Tears that did me good." St. Augustine. That is how every single person in the congregation should feel when you sing as a choir. He was moved to tears. But when you just sing to impress, I don't think people will be moved to tears. They will be moved to clap and cheer. Not that these expressions are bad, depending on how people respond to emotions and all. But then, when these things are done over time, you ask yourself, what have I achieved over time? Okay, now we'll take a look at that. The church musician is first a disciple, and then a minister. You are a disciple, you are a minister. Not merely an employee or volunteer. He or she is a minister, someone who shares faith, serves the community, and expresses the love of God and neighbor through music. And this USA Bishops Liturgical Music today. Sorry. Now, um, sometimes you see choristers making comments such as, "Am I even being paid for this? Why would they keep me here? See, I came here by 6 p.m. and now it's almost 9 p.m. Probably they have something to do the next day and they really need to put some extra time." You see, you hear these comments and you begin to wonder. Yes, you are not being paid, and you don't owe it to anybody to come out and sing in the choir. But then, if you joined voluntarily, voluntarily, then meaning volunteer, but by virtue of joining, because you have joined, you have accepted an appointment, and now you are a minister. You have been appointed. You accepted an appointment. You looked at yourself. You okay, for example, myself, I'll use myself as example. I joined the choir because I love music, not because I wanted to serve or give an offering to God. In all sincerity. But then, at some point, that question is, okay, now we are here in the church. You could have gone out there to join a band or something out there, but you decided to join a singing group in the church. So, what is the extra benefit? You just come and sing when you like and go. It becomes a job. I I looked at myself. I told myself, okay, it's like maybe you have this talent. Go out there, go to the choir and discover if it's really there. You go there, probably you see that there's something, and um, okay, now this talent, uh, as a minister, you have been appointed. What are you using it to do? You are still seeing yourself as an employee, as a volunteer. That is employee if you are being paid. But in this part of the world, choristers are not being paid. You are still seeing yourself as a volunteer, meaning you can appear and disappear anytime. But then we still expect God to see us as choristers. Okay, the point is this. If you join the choir, whether you are being paid or you just join out of your own volition, you are not an employee. You are no longer a volunteer. You are now a minister. You have a job to do. You have responsibilities. Okay, that being said, what type of music or singing should be used at the mass? The main place should be given, all things being equal, to Gregorian chants because they are proper to the Roman liturgy. But that does not mean that other kinds of sacred music are excluded. No, you can also use some other types of sacred music, provided that they correspond with the spirit of the liturgical action and that they foster the participation of all the faithful. If you have to use a local dialect to carry everybody along, go ahead. Okay? Now, where should the choir be positioned? Sometimes you hear things like The choir is supposed to sit at the right hand of the father, the priest. The choir is supposed to sit at the left hand, or the choir is supposed to sit in front of the choir, in front of the altar and all. Well, I think the faithful and the scholar cantorium, that is the choir, shall have a place that facilitates their active participation. The choir should be so positioned with respect to the arrangement of each church that its nature may be clearly evident, namely as part of the assembled community of the faithful undertaking a specific function. The positioning should also help the choir to exercise their function more easily and allow each choir member full sacramental participation in the Mass in a convenient manner. For example, when the choristers want to go and receive communion, the choir should be situated in such a position that they can have easy access for these things, not being positioned in a way that could cause unnecessary distractions during the Mass. Okay, now the order of the Mass, that's the order of the Mass. The entrance, the choir is expected to sing the entrance, glory be to God, and take responsorial psalms. Now, when it comes to responsorial psalm, to be nice if your choir can take their time and compose a good psalm, not so complex that the entire congregation cannot join. It should be as simple as possible, but also good. Then we have the gospel acclamation, profession of faith, presentation of the gifts and preparation of the altar, holy, holy, the Lord's Prayer, Lamb of God, communion, then dismissal. Okay, that takes us to the assignment. Who is a good chorister? Outline the most important parts of the order of the Mass. Okay, I expect you to go and research on this. Find out for yourself. Answer these questions. Submit to your choir master for grading. Alright, thank you.